All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me live tonight. Tonight, we have an open house for our new moon intention setting ceremony. Typically, these sessions are reserved for members of Magnify, but today it is open to whoever wants to join us and explore the process. After our call tonight, I will give you guys a copy of the process so you can follow along at any new moon. And you can also customize this to, what resonates with you and what you would really, what really, thank you, what resonates with you. So, all right, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of silent tapping. Because if you're anything like me, right, you probably were running around today, doing a million different things, and you want to just kind of settle, right? Settle and relax and feel grounded and centered as we start this. So let's just go ahead. And if you're not familiar with tapping or EFT, you're in for a real treat, because there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to start to feel a lot more relaxed as we begin the process. So I'm going to go ahead and just tap on the side of the hand. Doesn't matter which hand, and you can't get this wrong. So don't even worry about that. And when you're ready, take a nice deep breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to tap on the top of the head. We are moving in to the new moon phase, the new moon part of the moon cycle. And this is when energy really starts to heat up and where we start to get a lot of momentum towards our intentions. So you may be feeling this shift in energy, and that's exciting, even though it may be bringing up some pretty interesting parts of your soul. We're in this Scorpio energy, so it's pretty intense. And then when you're ready, to the eyebrow, inside of the eye, and take a nice deep breath. And under the eye, under the nose, on the chin, and another nice deep breath when you're ready. Okay. And the sternum, or if you want to tap on the collarbone points. And take another nice deep breath. And then under the arm. And then when you're ready, rub your hands together, put them over your chest, and take a couple nice deep breaths. And give yourself a big kudos for showing up for this today. Even if you're watching the replay and you couldn't make it live, give yourself a big pat on the back for taking the time out of your busy calendar, your busy schedule to do this work. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And I want you to think about what happened over the last couple weeks. In the full moon period, which is coming to an end, right? We're headed into this new moon cycle where energy really starts to ramp up. This is the time of action, and having clarity and focus on what we're creating really allows us to deliberately and consciously create anything we want. And we're going to be really intentional today in the process about choosing our intentions wisely. Okay. So think about over the last couple of weeks, What did you receive in your life? Maybe it was a lesson, an opportunity. Maybe it was something financial. Maybe it was a person. Okay. You could even think about like support you received. If somebody did something really kind, really nice for you, right? Gave you a great shout out on social media, let you know how much your coaching or your kind words meant to them, right? Think about the results that you welcomed into your life over the last couple of weeks. And it can be anything. It could be anything that you received. Because in that process, in the process of receiving, that's where the real magic of this work with the lunar cycle comes into play. The new moon phase that we're headed into now, that we're going to talk about today, is a lot of fun. It's so much fun. The energy is heating up. We start to really get so much momentum in the things that we're aligned with, the things that we're working towards. But in the full moon period is where we really need to open ourselves up to allow things into our life. Okay, that's where we start to see the results. That's where we nurture what we've created or what we're creating, and we start to see the harvest. Okay, so let's reflect. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. You'll hear some music and reflect on what you were able to receive over the last few weeks. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up your thought. And would anybody like to share some of their wins from the last 2 weeks? What have you opened yourself up to receiving? Anyone want to share anything? Nobody? Camille?
I'll go. Because I know how hard it is to be a leader when no one goes first.
Thank you.
I wrote a couple things, but a big one for me until I wrote it was help. I'm always afraid to ask for help. And I had a few people ask and call me and say, what do you need like help with? And normally I'd be like, I don't need help. But they were like, one was a friend and two were actually members of my community that just went, I know you need help. What do you need help with?
Wow. That is awesome.
And it was really hard to receive because I do not like to ask for help. Ever. So that was mine. I had other ones, but I think that was the biggest one for me.
I love that. And the more you open yourself up and the more you receive that support, the more you're going to be supported in so many other areas too. It might not be, somebody helping you with a specific task, but it could be support in a lot of different areas of your life. I love that. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share something, a win that they've had? Giselle?
Oh, well, I was going to say a win, but I wrote a few things down. But one thing I had taken my sister-in-law out for her 70th birthday for lunch at this vegan restaurant that she didn't know of. So it was a joy, such joy with her and Eunice, my mother-in-law, to just see her so happy in the gift. I'm feeling that moon today, the emotions. Giving her that gift of that time, and so excited to have the blueberry muffins to take home. And she was just so thrilled, and she was so happy for us to share those 2 hours together. And she was really, really happy, and it just brought me a lot of joy.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Giselle. Awesome. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to just chat a little bit about what the Scorpio energy is bringing up for us. Now, I think Nawako might be the only person here who I've done a session with, a moon guided session with. So Nawako, you know your houses and exactly what the Scorpio energy is activating for you. But for all of us, right, the Scorpio theme, the Scorpio vibe is a very interesting vibe that kind of shines the light on a lot of shadow parts of ourselves. Birth is part of this Scorpio energy. Death is part of the Scorpio energy. Sex, money, joint finances specifically is a big part of this energy. It's very transformative. It's very powerful and it's very passionate. So the Scorpio vibe is often, it's a water sign. It's a fixed water sign. So it can be a little icy, but it's often mistaken as a fire sign because of the passion and energy with this vibe. Okay. So for all of us, and if you know your houses and you want to look at your house to go deeper into this and kind of customize it a little bit more, think about transformation, death, renewal, birth, right? There's a lot of things that might be coming up for you with this energy, and it's good. It's a good thing because what's coming up is ready for you to release. So what I want for you guys to do, I'm going to show you, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want. But I'm working on something and it's almost done, but I do have Scorpio finished. There are some really great journal questions that we can ask ourselves for this new moon. One of the themes, okay, as I said, the theme of Scorpio, sex, death, taboo topics, other people's money, rebirth, transformation. right? There's a lot of there's a lot of depth in this vibe. It's very intense. It's very determined and focused. So think about, as we set our intentions coming up in a couple minutes, we can think about these things, okay, as we set our intentions, because these areas are where we're really supported with this energy. So a couple journal questions that you might want to just kind of think about as we move into setting our intentions. It's a great time to deepen your relationships. So is there a relationship? Is there a partnership in your life that you can explore a little bit, that you can get curious about? You know, how could it look like, or how could it be different with some focus and some determination or loyalty or honesty, right? It's also a great time for money, right? I talked about joint finances. So looking at mortgage, debts, credit cards, your salary, wills, inheritance, you know, just kind of taking an inventory and seeing where things, seeing how things look. Now, to go into the kind of the deeper, darker side of Scorpio, because remember, there is a transformative energy here. Jealousy and control are a big part of this Scorpio energy. So thinking about and being really honest with yourself. If you are feeling a little jealous about something, if you're feeling like you need to control things and you have a really tight grip on something, okay, exploring this, getting curious about this, looking at how you're feeling about certain things and how you can make peace with them. So the new moon time, this time that we're going into right now, is not necessarily a great time for the really, really deep work, but it's never a bad time for that work. So if you're feeling a lot of jealousy coming up, or you're feeling really intense emotions, of course, look at that, sit with that, and release the resistance around that. So compulsive, obsessive, you know, think about, is there something in your life that you've been a little bit compulsive or obsessive over? And these aren't things we're not going to dive into journaling right now at this point, but these are certain things that you can take a look at and explore during this time. So if you guys want to screenshot this, you certainly can. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Oh, Isabel, so glad that you're able to make it live. Awesome. Okay, so now go ahead and rub your hands together. Take a nice deep breath. This is where we're going to start to think about, what are we going to consciously and deliberately call into our life during this period? And the first part of this next step is to brain dump it all, right? Brain dump everything, whatever's coming to mind, whatever's coming up for you. Get it all out on paper. It doesn't matter at this point how you feel towards it, or how strong your belief is, or if there's any doubt there or things like that. We're going to get to that in the next part, but dump it all out on paper. Okay, your intentions could be something like, you know, I wish to receive more help in my life. I wish to receive 3 new clients. I wish to own a car. I wish to create a magical onboarding process for new clients, right? I wish to finish my first, short novel. I wish to help one person every day. I know you guys do all kinds of different things. Not everybody's a business owner. Not everybody is, in the entrepreneurial world. So think about something that you wish to manifest, that you wish to create in your life. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys, let's say 3 minutes, and you're going to brain dump everything on paper. So whatever comes up for you, you write it down. This is not the time that we're going to judge anything that comes up. We're just going to write it all down. Okay. There's no censoring or judging or thinking. I'm not gonna, no, just everything down on paper. And if, like I said, if you know which house the Scorpio energy is activating for you, then you can certainly look at that area. If you don't know, it's fine. You can just look at this birth, this renewal, this transformation, death, right? Things like that, which is the overall theme of Scorpio for everybody. All right. Okay. Go ahead and jot down the last few thoughts. And what we're going to do now is actually one of my favorite parts of this process. And I never liked it before. I had a lot of resistance to it before. But we're going to doodle, just draw. As you're looking at your intentions, as you're kind of like observing them, maybe reading them in your head or reading them out loud, you can doodle your actual intentions. Like if you intend to create 5 new members into your program, or you intend to manifest $1,000, you can actually doodle the, maybe 10 $100 bills or $1,000. You could doodle and kind of draw out your intentions. Okay. And as you're doing this is the really important part of this. You could even just draw straight lines on your paper the whole time, or dots. It doesn't matter what you draw, but as you're doing this, pay attention to how you feel as you bring to light certain intentions. So if there's an intention and as you're doodling it, or maybe you get kind of stuck on one intention and it feels so good and exciting to you, and then you read over some of the other ones and you're kind of like, it's just not really that exciting for you. Pay attention to the way you feel when you're looking at certain intentions, when you're doodling about them or thinking about them as you're doodling. Okay, so that's the key here, is what feels expansive for you as you're doing this process. What feels exciting? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that for another 3 minutes. All right. What did you think about that part and doodling your intentions? Anybody have any, was anybody else like, I don't really, did anybody get really into it and kind of surprise themselves by how much they enjoyed it? Did anybody think, no, it wasn't really my thing?
I enjoyed it.
Cool. What did you enjoy most about it?
Well, I thought, like you said, I thought I would experience some resistance expressing, but as I drawing, I was smiling and I was having, fun, and I can imagine that it's happening. So, but there was a couple of them that I was like, I couldn't draw a nice heart, you know, even when I was thinking about it. And I was like, maybe is that a small resistance that, you know, there. I tried to draw a rainbow and then it didn't come out evenly and then doesn't look like rainbow. And I was like, is it a resistance? Is it something that I'm, you know, not, you know, feeling a little bit of hesitance in there. But other things I was like, oh, I'm able to do this. Like I'm enjoying it. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, neat. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing.
It was curious for me how the emotion changed depending on what I was drawing for, which I don't think I would have noticed. And the hearts didn't really go well with me.
I hear ya.
So and I did that one first, like I want to find love, and I realized that there was a lot, not resistance, it was actually scared. Right? It was actually like a scary. But then when I went like to my house, like because I want to pay off my mortgage, that's my goal this year. But when I got like that and make my house beautiful and have my this, I felt very calm because it was my space, and that's when I actually noticed the difference of the love was when I went to the next one. I realized something had shifted. So then I was like, let's try travel.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that there
Interesting.
was actually feelings attached to it.
Ah, okay. And yeah, when you notice, like if you guys did have that experience similar to Camille and you noticed that there was this heaviness in the full moon phase, okay, you can explore that more. You can explore that more now if you want, but thinking about, you know, like getting curious about that and thinking, okay, where is this fear? Where is it in my body? How can I feel it fully? Is there resistance? Is there attachments? Is there judgments? Right? What do I have to let go of? And just getting really curious about that and sitting with that emotion and feeling that emotion fully so that it can be released. And you're able to then receive, right? Because we can't receive when we have a lot of resistance or fear or judgments and things like that. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Camille. Love it. All right. Anyone else want to share their experience?
Well, I tried to draw a plane and forget that, so I just wrote plane. And then I tried to draw a vehicle because I wanted a better vehicle to travel. So as I did that, I realized I put the tire in the wrong place. And I started laughing, and so I put it in the right place. And then as you were talking, it came to me, the reason that tire is in the wrong place is because there's a concern about me ending up in the wrong place or making a mistake. So that was a definite release just right now in our conversation. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, you guys are blowing me away with this.
I can show you the vehicle.
Yeah, show us.
Wait.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes.
I'm not creative when it comes to vehicles, but hey, it was fun. I was laughing.
That is so fascinating. Wow. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do, and this is really, really interesting. Okay. We are going to read each of our intentions out loud. Okay. So to yourself, I mean, you know, you guys are all on mute, so you don't have to read them to the group, of course. But you're going to read all of your intentions out loud, and you're going to rate them on a scale of 0 to 10 on how much do you believe this is possible. So for instance, if you had an intention that was like, I will manifest $10,000 by 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Okay. And meanwhile, you haven't, manifested, never manifested $10,000 in, 2 hours or whatever. There might be such a huge amount of resistance and doubt and maybe fear, like, oh my God, if I got this money, what am I going to do with it? Like all of these things that come up where that's you're starting off on, kind of on a rocky foundation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the intentions, read them out loud. We're going to really feel into them. Like, what do I feel? What feels expansive? What do I feel excited about? And we're going to rate them on a scale of 0 to 10. So 0 is like you have no belief at all. Like, there's no way this is going to happen for you. Okay. You don't have to explore where the resistance is coming from or anything. You don't have to do that right now. Something that you could down the road. But a 0 is like, there is no belief whatsoever. And a 10 is that you are so excited and your level of belief is this high. Like, you absolutely know that this can happen for you. Okay. So you're going to rate on a scale of 0 to 10. And I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. And really, take your time with this. This is not a rush. Okay. This is not you may not get through all of them, and that's okay. Okay. And that's totally okay. So I'll give us a couple more minutes for this so that you guys can really feel into each of the emotions or each of the intentions. And 0 out of 10, 10 out of 10, you absolutely 100% know with certainty that this is possible for you. There's no doubt in your mind. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Okay. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set our timer for 5 minutes for this one. So you have a little bit more time. And I'm going to mute myself so you won't hear the music at first. go ahead and finish that up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back at the list, and any intention that you rated a 5 or less, I want you to circle. Okay, circle any intention that you rated a 5 or less. And give me a thumbs up when you've finished. Okay. So because these intentions came up for us, right? They came to the surface for some reason. But doubt is one of the biggest killers of manifestation, okay? There's a lot of things that we need to release if doubt is coming into the picture. There's going to be plenty of opportunities, especially at the quarter moon cycle, for doubt to come in and for us to work through that. But we don't want to start on a rocky foundation with our intentions. So if you scored a 5 or less, if you scored any of your intentions a 5 or less, what we're going to do right now is we're going to consciously release them. Okay. Because it's not the time right now to be focusing on that. We got to do some work before we get there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at each of these intentions, and you're going to say something along the lines of, on November 4th, 2021, I'm consciously choosing to release this intention that I'm going to find true love in the next few months. Like, I'm going to consciously release this. And that's okay. I'm okay with this. Okay. So on November 4th, 2021, I'm consciously choosing to release this. Okay. So go ahead through your list and think about which of these intentions you are going to just let go of for now, right? You're just going to let go of them for now. It might not be in your highest expansion right now to focus on those. That's why you're feeling a certain way. You want to follow your highest excitement. You want to follow that feeling of expansion and excitement. And not everything is going to have the same is going to have the same vibe. Okay. It looks like you guys need a little bit more time, which is fine. And when you're ready, look at your list and see if you can pick 3. It could be 2, it could be 4, So let's say 2 to 4 intentions that pop out at you that really, really energize and excite you, that you are looking at and you just feel, that energy and you feel that expansion. And circle those, highlight those, draw hearts or stars around them. And give me a thumbs up when you have your intentions, your 2 to 4 intentions that just have a different feeling for you. Like you look at them and you feel excited or motivated or inspired or passionate. Is anyone having a hard time finding those intentions that are really lighting you up? Michelle?
It's not that I'm having difficulty, but because there are different areas of my life, it's like, how do all right, for an example, release past agreements and beliefs. That's a continuum, always, every single one. There's new intention, there's new layers to the onion. So that the intention of growing more and freeing yourself, that's always there. Health is another one, to increase that and get better. But then there's other things. So it's like the hand, they all hold hands together. Does that make sense to you?
Is there a way to be really specific about exactly what about your health are you working to improve? Is it, eating cleaner, eating
Okay.
2 salads a day, or like, is there a specific?
Okay, be more specific. Okay.
And then also with the growth, right? And releasing past disagreements. Think about if there's like a particular thing if there's a particular pattern, because we tend to have these core patterns that come up over and over and over in our life in different ways, and recognizing those patterns and healing those patterns is where we really have that freedom. So think about, like, is there a specific pattern that's coming up over and over and over? And an intention could be to focus on healing, right? This Scorpio energy is such a great time to go deep and to go to really shine a light on those intense, darker sides of us. So yeah, thinking about a pattern, and seeing if you can be really specific about.
Oh, I can be. I was just being general in the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
when you said that,
Cool.
it helped me, be more concise. So thank you with that. And
You're
as far
welcome.
as the health, I'll give you an example. I'm working on increasing my mileage and decreasing my time in walking. So I'm working on finding a creative place to go since the weather is starting to get colder. I don't want to be in a gym on a treadmill or a hamster on a wheel. I want to be in that nature or somewhere. So I'm thinking creatively of where it would be good to go.
Awesome. Yeah, you can ask yourself, how could I find the perfect walking spot for the next couple months? And really ask yourself a resourceful question like that. Cool. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for sharing. When you guys share, it really helps everybody, right? Your questions really help everybody. Okay. So now give me a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up if you have your 2 to 4 intentions. You're pretty clear. You feel excited and expansive and inspired. Okay. And what I want you to do, thanks, Isabel. What I want you to do now is I want you to think about what it would look like, what it would feel like, maybe what it would sound like or taste like when this is here, right? And really focus on that feeling. Okay, because we're really all trying to manifest a feeling. If we want to manifest more money, maybe we really want to feel free. Okay, if we want to manifest love, maybe the emotion could be we really want to feel worthy or connected or loved, right? So think about, what is that feeling that you think you'll feel when you have this. So we're going to think about, tap into that visualization, right? So you can close your eyes if you want, visualize this thing happening. For Michelle, she's visualizing walking on the perfect path, the perfect location. Maybe she's even with a bestie, right? Walking with a friend. Maybe she finds a new friend that loves walking and introduce her to this new spot, right? So visualize this, tap into the feeling, tap into that emotion. What do you see? What do you hear? Okay. And also think about, and I'll type this in the comments. So we have the visualization. Think about an affirmation that can go with that. So, and I'll type a few examples in there, but think about an affirmation. Okay. And then an action step. So is there something that you can commit to or something that you can do that's going to help you get closer to that? So for Michelle, maybe she wants to send a message or send an email or a text to a couple of her local girlfriends to ask about trails that they know about or paths that they know about. Maybe she wants to post on Facebook and ask, hey, does anybody know a really great path in the winter? That's regularly plowed or safe and well lit or whatever it is. Okay. So we're visualizations, affirmations, and an action step. And I'm going to put this in the comments, and I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes for this step because it's a little bit, requires a little bit more thought. Okay, about 30 seconds. Okay. Okay. How did everybody do with that? Is there anything that was hard or unclear, challenging? Any questions on anything? Okay. Okay, so the next part, so important. So important. And I want you to think about, because we know, I'm sure all of you guys know that we can do, right? We can do all the things and not have what we want, right? And not manifest what we're working on creating. So it's not really in the doing, right? That's going to bring this in. It's in the beingness. Okay. Who do you have to be in order to welcome these things into your life? Okay. Who do you have to be? So let's think about that for a moment. Who do you have to be to manifest this new car or this new love or this $1,000, whatever it is, right? Who do you have to be? Do you have to be more resourceful? Do you have to be creative? Do you have to tap into the parts of you that you haven't been paying attention to, like your need for creativity, your need to create, your need to connect with others, your need to have fun, right? If you know your sun sign and your moon sign and your rising sign, well, sun and moon sign primarily, but is there part of you, part of who you are at your core that you're not paying attention to? How can you magnify that? How can you bring that into the light? How can you use that part of you to help re-energize you or restore your energy? You can also think about some obstacles that are going to inevitably come up, right? And what patterns, what old patterns are going to be activated when these things happen? And how can you get excited when that stuff happens and those patterns come up? Like, how can you be like, yes, bring it on. I'm ready to heal this, right? I'm ready to go there. The Scorpio energy, this is going to bring up a lot of stuff, guys, a lot of stuff. And how can you celebrate that and welcome that and lean into that? My coach, Tyson Sharp, he's absolutely amazing. If you guys don't already know him, he's just amazing. He said something that was mind-blowing in one of our calls recently. And he said, if you are sitting with the issue, so if you're sitting with the fear or the sadness or the guilt or the shame, you are at a higher vibration than if you are resisting it and pretending like it's not there. So when these
Say
things
that
come
again?
up,
Would you say
yes,
that again?
sure.
That was profound.
I know. I was like, whoa. I was like, can you repeat that like 800 times so I could make sure I write it down? So he said, when a lot of times, right, like we are just so trained to not feel, right? To be happy. Everything's happy. Everything's joyful. And I was actually reading something today that was like, you attract your energy. So like, if you think negative thoughts, you're going to attract all this negativity. So just don't think that, think happy. But what Tyson was saying was, when we are sitting with those emotions, so we know things are going to come up, right? We know we're going to feel doubt. We know we're going to feel frustration, or we're going to have these old patterns coming up, right? Like, can I really do this? Maybe I can't do this. It's never worked before, blah, 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 blah. We're going to have all these things come up. And if we sit with those things and we feel them and we let the fear come into our body, we welcome that fear, we feel it in our body and we sit with it. We're like, all right, I have all day. Like, let me feel this. I'm going to feel it fully. We are actually at a higher vibration when we're sitting with the junk, when we're sitting with our own crap and our old patterns, than if we were saying, nope, everything's good. I'm just going to be at this high vibe and I'm going to pretend like my life is great. And I'm just going to stay focused on the things that I want, because if I focus on the fear, then the fear is going to get bigger and bigger and I'm never going to manifest anything and blah, 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 blah. Right. So if we pretend like it's not there and we resist the resistance is going to grow unconsciously and it's going to block our ability to focus and take action and do the things we need to be and be the person we need to be, right? To tap into that creativity and that passion and that excitement and the persistence and the dedication and determination, right? The resistance is going to block all of that stuff. And we're going to end up walking around feeling sorry for ourselves and ashamed and frustrated. And even if we're doing the work, that resistance is going to be subconsciously blocking, because we manifest our biggest fears. So we might as well sit with it, let ourselves feel it, let ourselves release it, and get back on the horse, right? Get back and keep going.
So
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question, because I hear Tyson say this all the time. And I have a call with him too. But what if you have no idea what that feeling is?
Okay.
Like, you don't know if it's jealousy or if it's, fear of success, or if it's, because so many times you're not 100% sure where it's coming from. I know this because I have a thing that's going on now, but over today, I think I figured it out. But I woke up and I was actually texting him and I was like, but I don't know what it is. But I'm not sure. I don't even know where it's coming from, but I know something's not right today. My energy is like totally off today. I almost felt like sick to my stomach today. But
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. It's actually clearing up for me now because I've had conversations with different people. And I was just like, just show up, just go to things. It's like, you had this, I was like, I'm gonna go because I know I'm working through something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it
That's
work
such
the
a
same way?
So that's such a great question, Camille. The one thing that I would always recommend, and it is totally normal for us to not be like, some of us are very much in our heads and not in our body. It's harder for us to get in our body. And some of us are very much in our body and know immediately like what that feeling is or what that emotion is. And we can kind of connect the dots. So what I would say is the body never lies. So the body never, ever, ever lies. So if all you do is just sit with yourself and say, okay, this feeling in my chest, it feels like a rock. I feel almost like I'm being suffocated or like compressed, or I feel like something's like there's a knot in my throat, or, whatever it is. And you get really, really clear on the feeling. And then you can ask yourself, this is one of my favorite questions in the whole entire world. And it's because our subconscious always knows, right? Our inner wisdom always knows. So you can say, if I were to know what I'm feeling right now, what would it be? If I were to know what I'm feeling right now, what would it be?
I use that on my kids.
Yes.
When they're frustrated or they're like, I don't know. And I said, like, I always say, if you did know, what would that be?
Yes. And
so that's
and
interesting. I never thought to do it on myself.
Yeah. And they always know. They always know.
Yeah.
And it's like that, in that pause, we allow our subconscious to reveal things. We kind of, we tap into that higher self, right? That a lot of times we're not super connected to. So Camille, that's what I would say. I would say first, really sit with that feeling and get really present with that feeling, get really present and grounded in your body. One of the ways you can do that is by bringing your attention to your legs and your feet and just saying like, okay, just bring all of your attention and all of your focus to your legs and your feet. That's a place of safety and security, of groundedness. And then ask yourself, get really curious. Hey, what is going on in my body right now? Notice any tension, notice any tightness, and sit with that feeling. And then when you really get clear on that feeling, you can say, okay, if I were to know what this is, what would it be? If I were to know what emotion, or if I were to know what pattern is coming up, what would it be? Okay, that's a really, really great place to start. And yeah, thank you for that question. That's awesome, because we've all been there before. We've all, sometimes it's hard to go underneath the cloudiness, like all the stuff, right? And it's hard. I struggled with this in meditation for a while. I've been working with Tyson for a couple months now. And at first I was like, I don't even know what this meditation thing is. Like, what am I doing? Like, all I'm doing is just going through my to-do list, all the time. And it takes a little bit of work to go under the fog. And then when you're able to go under that fog, but be patient with yourself and be really curious. That curiosity is so powerful. Awesome questions. Thank you guys. This is great. So now we are actually going to wrap up with some meditation. So it looks like we have 9 minutes. And this is what I want you to ask yourself. Okay. And it's very similar. It's like a great segue into what we're going to do next. I want you, so we're going to meditate with this question. If I were to know my next step, what would it be? If I were to know my next step, what would it be? Okay. Now, this is another thing that I learned in meditation. When we first start, okay, you might be flooded with a million things, or you may be kind of like waiting, like, okay, come on, right? No judgment either way. But I want you to sit with it. Don't be so quick to open your journal and start writing down these 10,000 things that are coming through. Some of you may be struggling with a pattern that I had for a long time, which is like, I have to always be busy. I have to always be doing. If I'm not doing, then I'm not being productive, or like, you know what I mean? So let yourself, yes, Michelle, you resonate. I know. I was like, so Tyson was like, you do not meditate next to your journal. You put that on the other thing. You do not let yourself pick it up. You do not let yourself write it down, because what will come through after all of that stuff is the really, really golden nuggets. And you're going to remember those golden nuggets. You don't have to remember all the other things. Okay. So you're going to sit with that. You're going to let what comes through come through. No judgment. Just let it come through. And we'll see, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to set our timer for, because I want to have a couple minutes at the end to wrap up. So I'm just going to do 5 minutes for this one. Okay. So that so we're not like, okay, bye, and jumping off of Zoom. All right. So 5 minutes, ask yourself, if I were to know my next step, what would it be? Okay. Okay, go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And go ahead and jot down your action item. Okay. So as we wrap up, I'd love to go around. I'd love to hear everybody's voice and share something about today. Maybe it was a insight, a breakthrough, an aha moment. Maybe it's a fear moving forward. Maybe there's something, maybe there's a little bit of resistance. Maybe you feel so excited about something that you just are absolutely thrilled about taking this action item and making this next step, right? And maybe you want to share something totally unrelated. It's up to you. I would just love to hear everybody's voice as we wrap up. It was so great to see you guys here live tonight. So who wants to go first? Anyone?
I'm happy to start for you.
Yay!
Incredibly helpful. I have one question though. Can we ask
Okay.
a question?
Yes.
How long does this moon phase last? Is it just till the next new moon?
Yes. So it's about 4 weeks. And then in about 2 weeks, we go into like a full moon phase. But this energy and these intentions will be for about 4 weeks.
Okay. I can do anything for 4 weeks.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Great question.
Yeah. It was very helpful though. It was just kind of nice to sit and kind of do the exercise and, and kind of, I don't really know anything about moon phases, but it was great. And I appreciate your time and energy in all of this.
Awesome. You're welcome. It was great having you here. Who wants to go next?
Okay. Yes, it was an excellent class. Thank you very much. My moon is in Scorpio. So, I don't know if that's one of the reasons why I was feeling something. I've been working on manifesting all these different time now. And, but today, there was less resistance today. There was really less resistance when I was writing it. And the doodling, there was no resistance. It was really enjoyable and believable. And believe it or not, I was surprised my ratings were, of course, why not? Of course, why not? Only one was a 7, but I felt the others were all 9s and 1 8. So, and when you said to do that exercise, I thought we were supposed to just visualize it. I wasn't writing it down, so I was just feeling and visualizing each one of the things, and then I started writing at the end. A lot of ahas, and I've been doing a lot of new moon, full moon activities, but this, I really felt an organization and I don't know. I guess I can't really put it into words. My cousin could probably put it into words better than I can. Yeah, I just felt it was complete and very beneficial. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Giselle. Anyone want to go next? Katie? So good to see you tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Um, Brought a lot of clarity. Thank you. I did some journaling this morning around the intentions for the new moon, and then this was really just brought it together. But the drawing, I love to draw, and I never let myself play with it. So that was really helpful. And I have to show you. I'll show you. Can you see?
Oh, yes.
I renamed a character in my novel. I just started writing
That's
it.
beautiful.
Thank you. So renamed one of my characters and was able to visualize what they are and kind of gain clarity on their story and mine moving forward with it too. So this is,
Wow.
All New Moon is about my moving forward in my writing career. So this new story is like just a big part of that. So
I love that.
yeah.
So exciting. New story, new baby,
Yeah.
a new fourth baby, right? So that's so awesome. So excited.
Thank you.
Michelle, how about you?
Okay, well, one of the things is I love to take pictures. Okay, and I've been working on this and putting my intention out there and affirmations and letting it flow easily and effortlessly. So I had some cameras that I needed, that I wanted to bring to the store to have repaired or whatever. So I was given a brand new camera. That's one. Then I was trying to figure out how you put your name on your photos so no one can steal them. And I said, well, I'm gonna have to check into that. But last night I received a call telling me how to do that. So now my next step is to practice putting my name on there on my photos. And then what you said, something about, I don't know if you said it or someone else said it, putting my photos on Facebook with my name on it and possibly doing a page just with photos.
Nice.
Plus there's other things, but that's where I really got energized. I had different ones, but that's where it went.
Cool.
Thank you
Yeah.
for this whole thing. It was absolutely wonderful.
Oh,
It
I'm
was-
so
it
glad.
was
I'm so glad that you
really,
guys
really
were here
interesting.
live.
I felt a lot of excitement, and I did have fun drawing. I like to doodle. I have lots of artwork, but nothing like Katie does. It's a little bit different. But
Katie
thank
is
you, everyone.
super talented. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Isabel, how about you?
So I'm not going to turn my camera on because there's a lot of action here today.
No worries.
So I'm just, I missed the beginning. So I was a little bit like catching up. But I did like the doodling. We had talked about that. So that was a nice experience. In our call, remember, I don't know if you remember that, we had talked about the doodling and you'd asked me about that. So yeah, I really like that. And yeah, I got some clarity on some stuff. So thank you so much, Dawn. This was really well organized and great, like exercises, really, really great exercises.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Nawako, how about you?
Thank you so much for the wonderful class. It brought me a lot of clarity, and you went through very, easy to follow step by step. And voila, I came to conclusion with the actual action plan. And I think usually when I manifest something and I don't quite get to that actual action plan, or so that's why I think I never really managed to get to that. But it was really good. And despite of all the fears that I used to experience, it was very enjoyable thing to go through the process. I thought I would have more resistance or heavy emotion come through it, but I don't know. I don't even remember the last time that I enjoyed drawing so much hearts around the picture that I'm manifesting. And that was so much fun. So thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Awesome. I'm so glad. Thank you guys so much for the feedback too. Wendy, I know you popped in towards the end, but did you want to share anything? And thank you for popping in, even though
I'm
it was
coming on camera. Okay.
Oh.
So my takeaway was I wish I would have like signed in on time. And you've got such a beautiful space here, right? To just hold space for everybody. And I love how you're all very like-minded, and I am not going to be late for the next one. That's my takeaway.
Awesome. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give everybody a high five on the sides. So high five below, high five to your neighbor up top. Give yourself a big hug. You guys did work that most people don't do, but you are consciously, deliberately creating your life. We're always manifesting. Now we get to manifest what we really, really want. So thumbs up to you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to send the recording. I'm going to send a couple goodies for you guys. And I'm also going to send you guys information if you want to look into the Magnify membership community, where we do things like this all the time, which is a lot of fun. So I'd love to share that information with you guys if you're interested in going deeper, learning more, or doing things like this on a regular basis. Yay! So I'll send that all to you.
I have just one, may I just say one thing?
Yes.
You know, I put out an intention and I manifested this group here right now. I've been looking for like-minded people to have fellowship at home, whatever. And thank you so much. You're all part of my manifestation.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Thank you guys so much for taking this time out of your busy day today to join us. I can't wait to see where everything is for everybody in a month's time, right? At our next new moon. All right. Thank you all. And I look forward to hearing about all of the amazing wins coming up. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Dawn.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.